Howdy everyone, Old School Game Collector here, and this is why I think Zelda Breath of the Wild and not Super Mario Odyssey is the game of the year for 2017. So first of all, I want to say that I love both of these games. However, I think Breath of the Wild edges past Mario Odyssey to win Best Game for the Nintendo Switch in 2017. And Breath of the Wild is also my overall winner for Game of the Year. Here's why I liked Breath of the Wild more than Mario Odyssey. The first reason I like Breath of the Wild a little bit more than Mario Odyssey is because of its difficulty. There's nothing quite like the beginning of Breath of the Wild. You wake up, walk out into the Great Plateau, and you really don't have much of an idea about what to do next. There's no coddling from the developers. You're just thrown out into this vast world and you have to figure things out. Early in the game, you have to make it to the top of a snow-capped mountain, and when I tried to get there the first time, I froze to death. Through induction, I went to a campfire and started throwing in different items I had to see what would happen, and voila! I made an item that allowed me to withstand the cold for a few minutes, just in time for me to finish the shrine I needed to complete at the beginning of the game. That's just one of many examples of how Breath of the Wild leaves it up to the player to figure out what to do to defeat enemies, solve puzzles, or even climb towers. Mario, on the other hand, is very easy until you hit the 400 Power Moon mark. There are times early in the game when you can get 5 to 10 Power Moons in just a few minutes. After a while, getting a Power Moon wasn't even exciting to me anymore. It made me long for the days of Mario 64 when getting a star was such a big accomplishment. At times in Mario Odyssey, finding Power Moons just became tedious and obligatory. Again, after about 400 Power Moons, the difficulty does finally ramp up, and truthfully, this is when I began enjoying the game the most. The game also holds the player's hand early on until you pick up on the mechanics. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but personally, I enjoyed the fact that Breath of the Wild allowed me, the player, to figure things out myself. The second reason I would say Zelda Breath of the Wild is a little bit better than Mario Odyssey is because of the freedom that it gives the player to play the game the way they want to. Want to beat Breath of the Wild as soon as you start playing? Go for it. You'll probably die, but you can try. Some crazy people have set world records beating the game in well under an hour. You don't even have to fight the 4 divine beasts. You could decide to complete all of the shrines before you move on to anything else, like I did. I spent hours upon hours hunting down every shrine in the game before I progressed any other part of the story. Want to spend hours accumulating armor and upgrading them? Go for it. One of my favorite things about my gameplay experience was talking with other people and hearing how they decided to progress through the game. I'd have a conversation with friends about things that they had found out that I hadn't yet, but we've been playing the same amount of time. Breath of the Wild really does leave it up to you to decide how you want to play the game. Mario does not have this kind of freedom. Like most Mario games, you complete a level and the game progresses by opening up the next level on the overworld map. This works really well for a Mario game, but the freedom the player has in Breath of the Wild is just truly something special. The third reason why I think Zelda Breath of the Wild is a little bit better than Mario Odyssey is because of the sheer size of the game. The first time I booted up Breath of the Wild and walked out into the Great Plateau, I remember looking out into the vastness and thinking, can I go there? So I tried. I don't think I made it very far because Guardians are jerks, but A for effort. Even after I felt like I had traversed so much of the land, I still hadn't seen everything. This game truly is vast, and the sheer size of the map is awe-inducing. The best part is, if you can see it, you can probably go there. Mario Odyssey, not so much. Each level is its own sandbox, and some of these levels are large and some not so much. Mario has kind of always been more linear, and Mario Odyssey is more of the same. It's important to note that the linear aspect of Mario Odyssey is par for the course for most platforming games. I know I'm a bit biased because of my love for Mario 64, but I loved that Mario 64, although segmented by how many stars you had to get to unlock new places in the castle, allowed some player freedom and choice. The fourth reason I like Zelda Breath of the Wild a little bit more than Mario Odyssey is because of the small details and the intangibles. There are lots of little qualities that make Breath of the Wild stand out a little more than Mario to me. The first time I was running around the map and I realized I could literally climb any surface, I was amazed. I'm fairly certain that I just climbed mountains for the next few hours of gameplay with no intention of accomplishing anything. The small nuances in the world of Breath of the Wild stand out as well. I remember rolling my first boulder off the edge of a cliff and seeing it demolish a bokoblin. And the crazy thing is, this never gets old. It was fun to roll a boulder off of a cliff in my first hour and during my 100th hour. If there is a thunderstorm and you have anything metal equipped, you'll get electrocuted. Bomb arrows don't work in the rain. You can buy a home and decorate it. There are just so many small details in Breath of the Wild. Both Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey have great boss battles as well, but Zelda takes it a step further. As you're playing the game and you're in the overworld and simply running around Hyrule, a boss can attack you out of the blue. Early in the game, I accidentally ticked off a stone talus and it proceeded to annihilate me. It was great. It then became my mission to find new weapons and armor so I could come back and fight it. I felt such a great sense of accomplishment when I was powerful enough to take it on. Also, Guardians and Lionels, enough said. Look, Mario Odyssey is still one of my favorite games of 2017. I've had countless hours of fun and I'm still on the hunt for more Power Moons. Mario even has the most nostalgic value for me. Super Mario Bros. For the NES was the first video game I ever played as a 4-year-old child. Yet Zelda Breath of the Wild is a truly special gaming experience. It is the first game in years that kept me up until way too late at night almost every day, even though I had to wake up early for work. It is the first game in years that I thought about playing when I wasn't playing it, and it is the first game in years that I was truly disappointed to complete because I wanted the experience to last, even after over 100 hours of gameplay. Zelda Breath of the Wild is definitely my game of the year for 2017, but what's yours? I'd be curious to know, so please, in the comment section below, leave a comment, let's open some dialogue, and I'd love to even hear if you liked Mario Odyssey more than Breath of the Wild, and hear why. So let's start a dialogue, let's have a conversation, and thank you so much for stopping by this page, for liking this video, for sharing this video, and subscribing to this channel. It really does mean a lot to me. Have a great day, and happy gaming.